Oh boy, this is exhausting work. Looking at the stuff from the past and my drug texts and the trauma I've been through and seeing how things evolved. It's really exhausting. I'll be glad when there's a step forward. But this is a step forward, and I guess all of those were as well. So I wanted to go back a little bit. That when I was in the bus, I wrote this book on Facebook. That's a lot of the information that the higher ups got up front and been using to make their extra money or to get new ideas. Like how Facebook has meta. Yeah, meta means I'm the sun. But I wrote this book in the notes section, and I still got it. And when I closed that down and slammed the door shut right before I woke up. And during the phase that I'm getting ready to tell about during COVID, one night I made a list of all the people that seemed to be involved and gave them X names. So then it's no wonder that somebody's took over Twitter, called it X, and then got a little X on his head. It's funny, whenever I come up with an idea, everybody takes it and gets paid. But that's theft and intellectual property. And, they get the money, but it's, it's funny. So they didn't come up with the idea. And sure, they got the money, but they know they stole it. And I think that matters, you know. It's not at all like the way that I borrow things, and bring it over. And, anybody asks me where did I get it? Well, I can show you where I got it. And I didn't just take it and say, this is mine. I made this up, and it's in bits and pieces or whatever. It is different than following somebody around and tracking them 24 hours a day and coming up with ways to manipulate other people to gather the information for them and then bring it to their attention and then implementing it. That's I don't find that very honorable. Well, so let's see. I'm my 212 phase. So I left Raven at on 217, which is really important because 2 years later, on that day, I found out that that's when the biblical flood happened, supposedly. I don't know where that's recorded or whatever, but even when I opened the Bible on that day, two years later, and just stick to Mancy, put my finger to it, it told me who I am. It told me I'm God's son. And I broke down crying, you know. So it's been a really painful and challenging journey being the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, the Divine Mother, and all this shit, and really getting no recognition, and all the rich get richer, and all the people around me switch sides, and getting possibly paid, to do things to me, um, and then people will try to trigger me, especially through text, because, well, especially if I've been drinking or whatever, then, yeah, then I just roadrunner. And I don't mean to hurt anyone, but it's funny how, they do that on purpose. But then, yeah, and so they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get him." And then they play the victim like, "Oh, look what he said about me. Look what he did to me." Well, then that's what you were trying to get. You were trying to get me to say something, and then you got hurt. Well, no wonder. That's not cool. Um, so forgiveness is for everyone, not just for me. And in order to heal, you have to be triggered. You have to look in the mirror, and if you want to know what was wrong with you, well, I guess it's it, this is a good place to find it out at, and I can help you heal it too. So, but they all want to hold it in their corner all to themselves, and then have ice cream and eat it too, and then play the victim, and then play the the Godfather and all that shit, and give zero credit where it's due. And I just have to trust everything's going to work out right in the end. Um, so I left that job, and I was still working at the hotel, and they told me that they were going to India in March for 2 weeks, and I had my 401k, or I don't know, my back pay from what was left from my job at Raven, and how much I was going to get paid to run the hotel for 2 weeks as a prisoner again before they came back, and then I was going to move on my birthday when my lease was up again. Well, so I left work and spent a lot of time uh, watching the room spin, as you could say, and trying to figure out where my angel wanted me to go. But I've always been boxed in by people trying to make sure I can never go anywhere while they're draining me of all the knowledge so that they can come up with new ideas because they don't have any ideas, and uh, and their ideas won't take off unless they have their angel. And well, if they busted their angel or um, whatever, it leads them all back to me, and then they just try to snatch whatever they can. But oh, that's a good idea, and then they go make their millions of dollars, and then leave me sitting in a hole. Well, so during this phase, uh, I got to know a lot of the singers, and all this based upon whatever I said about them or brought them up, and they'd get secret access to me, and they'd be poking at me and shit, or trying to lure me. So there is a bunch of songs about me specifically, and albums too, or pushing off of their Christ and lassoing to the future off of me in order to pull me in. You know, this exchangeover, um, and that's what a lot of songs have to do with because they're all about something besides the point. And um, hmm, let's see, where do I want to take this? Um, let's just kind of skip to. So then all of a sudden, I go in to go check out the hotel and check with them that were on um, for me taking over the hotel for 2 weeks while they go to India. And then they're like, oh, there's this thing called COVID, and the airline stole our money and they won't refund it. And now we don't need you because we're stuck here. I'm like, fuck, I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. And then I start draining down on money and whatever. And then this one night, I had my friend Obi come over. I'm like, I never really did mess with magic or anything like that or a ritual, but hey, tonight let's get all fucked up and let's do a ritual. I'm gonna ask my grandma for some money, my grandmother Helen. So we did it, and Then all of a sudden, because of being led along and controlled from the outside and bounced off the ceiling and the floor while being taken advantage of the whole time, the system set up COVID. Um, for for what it's worth, I mean, I don't know all the details about everything. I mean, I know what I can tell you. And hold on. No, not yet.
Okay, good. When he comes in, I need to talk to him.
Sure.
Okay.
Certainly. Okay, so because I quit my old job, I didn't have anything there, but because I still had the hotel job and that's on the books, then I was allowed to apply for workers' comp. So that was a blessing. And then um, stimulus, all this stuff. It came in overnight, I think, on at the end of Beltane, the day before my birthday, or the day of my birthday. I woke up and I had like, I don't know, something like 3 to 6 grand in my account. And I was like, holy fuck. Shit, I could pay my bills technically for the rest of the year, just about with this. And especially if I'm gone and not eating anything for 3 or 4 days every week, and I don't need anything else until my angel lets me the fuck out of here or whatever, then I don't really need stuff. Like, life is free. I'm just getting all this information and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with my life based upon all this stuff. Um, so that was cool. And then, so over the summer, I continued on, down for 3 to 4 days, up for 3 to 4 days. Well, I mean, then more like then sleep for 2 days, and recover for a couple days, and down for 3 or 4 days, and yeah. I figured out by August that year that I'd probably already not slept for 3 months of that year by August. I've been awake a lot. It's amazing that I look as good as I do, and I still got my teeth. I mean, I got some wrinkles, but that's because I drank last night. I was recovered really fast. I guess that's one of my blessings is Wolverine as a healer. And I have a lot of people in the world sending prayers to me and whatever, and sending healing energy, whether they know it or not. And then there's those that know that they do, because of the role that I play on Earth. I don't know. As the smartest and the dumbest one, the one that belongs everywhere and don't belong anywhere, and the guys in question, and um, trying to figure out how to carry the capstone over to start a new world. About the last time I got clothes and stuff was during that summer, because then, I started being like, well, I want to fix my life. I started exercising and doing pull-ups and stuff to build up my neck and my shoulder and upper back from my car accident. Started trying to do yoga. And went on long drives, listened to music, and just going on dates with myself, basically. But then it always turned into jumping back down to the bottom of the well. And I just couldn't get out of it, and everywhere you go, everybody's wearing a mask and shit, and I was already isolated as it was, so I don't know. That was a weird year with a whole bunch of control tactics around me and on me by the system and by the stars, and a lot of trauma. But that wasn't the worst of it yet. That comes the next year or two. Sometimes they try to make me kneel because of whatever instruments they have in order to focus energy weapons onto physical people's bodies or into the mind to manipulate us because of the angelic thing of, oh, we can't touch them. Oh, we're not touching them. We're shooting them with an energy weapon. Oh, okay. Or that's still touching me. I remember I have a bunch of crazy memories during that time. And I'm so empathic and caring that I've been greatly taken advantage of by the people I cared about and wanted to help or wanted to join with or whatever. Like I remember sleeping on the floor for a couple 3 days because I saw Selena. Supposedly, I don't know if it was what it was, but showing, oh, well, here's her murders in the building. Just worked to death. She's sleeping on the floor, but she could just laid on the floor and then took a picture of her, and then I see it, and then I'm like, oh, and I get all, and then so then I'm sleeping on the floor for Selena, and she's probably laughing about it, and and Taylor sent a whole bunch and made sure that I got her and Taylor making fun of me, sending me weird little shorts and stuff, poking fun at me, making me feel this way or that way. So that's an interesting part of the journey. And by Christmas, everything kind of starts blurring together over the next year or so. I remember having, over Christmas, I think it was that year, all the royal family was all focused on me, Queen and such. I remember spending 3 days in bed wishing I'd die. I don't remember if I ran out of money or something or other, but just praying that I'd get through it, praying that God would help me out of the situation. And then it turns out that the following, let's see, so then in 2021, so this guy Dave, this neighbor, whatever, kept messing with me, and then sending over one of the other neighbors to get information all the time. And then my next door neighbor, she was an addict, but see, I'm not an addict. I was doing this because I thought this is what God wanted me to do. But God was the system draining the life out of me to get all the information and to teach me a lesson and make me do something for them. And well, they got everything they wanted out of me and were ready to dump my body at any second. That's how I feel it is. Well, they all got rich. So I don't know how I feel about the singers or the government or the secret societies. Because they're the ones that have kept the boot on my neck and try to keep me drowned and hoping I'd just die and they could just be like, we beat you. While we were getting rich and laughing about it. Yeah, we're good people. Everybody's so proud of us for all the good stuff we do for humanity. And for being such badasses. So let's see. So then on my birthday, I called my mom, and I can't remember, she didn't answer or whatever, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna go to, I think I had an Adderall, just like one, and I went to the bar and had one beer, one free beer. Then on the way home, I kind of just snapped for a second. I was just like, ah! And I stomped on the brakes and left this big old blackie. But I'm outside city limits, you know, that's where my house was, just like a quarter mile outside of city limits. And then I whip around and I pull in the parking lot, put my car in the garage. See Dave's garage is open. I walk in the door. He's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." "What was that?" I was talking about. And then all of a sudden he snaps. He's like, "You're gonna fucking kill somebody!" And he slams me on the fucking floor. I go sliding across the floor. Dave's a pretty good guy, big guy. He's a roofer or some shit. And then so then he assaults me. And then his wife comes out of the house right then and hands him a gun. And this guy's a felon. He's not allowed to have guns. A gun? What the fuck? I wasn't on the property. I had nothing to do with them. Whatever. And they called me over into the garage to do this to me. So I'm like, I'm going home. And she starts following me across and there was people in there. There were witnesses to this. She starts following me over to my place. I turn around and say, "Go home." And she just comes up and goes, boom, 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 slaps me with all her fucking body weight like 5, 6 times. I said, "You need to go home." And I turn around and I walk in my house and I shut the door. And the door behind me fucking swings open. She comes in. She fucking punches me in the nose. Gives me a bloody nose inside my living room. So then there's trespassing. There's 3 different assaults. One inside of my home, whatever. So I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta call the cops. So I call the cops, 911, and I go stand out in the parking lot, wait for them to show up. Fucking 4 cop cars or something like that show up, and the 212 cop car guy who obviously paid by the system to beat my ass and shit from that side, put up to it, comes up to me and treats me like I'm the perpetrator after I called them and said I've been assaulted and shit, and starts immediately treating me like shit, and show him my bloody nose, tell him what happened, whatever. He goes over and he goes into the garage and talks to them. While he's in there, the one of the other cops telling me, "Oh yeah, we know about Dave. Dave's got like fucking 20 assault charges. Like, we know him better than anybody in this whole fucking town." That he loses his temper. Oh, funny thing is, a month and a half earlier, he almost kills his brother because they were drinking, and he just beat the living shit out of him. and people had to carry his brother out of there because of something that happened when they were like 2 years old that he brought up. And like 3 weeks earlier, he gave her a black eye, and so it's crazy. And then you bring giving him a gun and shit, and so then the cop goes in there, and they even admit this to him, to the cop, about the gun, and he's not allowed to have a gun. He's a felon, and they just bring him, oh, he's on meth and this and that, and and they don't question anybody else in there for witnesses, and they even admit to assaulting me all of those times, even coming in my house and doing it. And then they wrote up a statement, which I got to see later, and there's enough evidence in the statement that they both should have gone to jail, and I should have won this case. But instead, so then he comes out and he's like, "Are you on it?" I said, "Yeah, I had one beer at the bar. It's my birthday." "Oh, well, you're drinking on the influence." I said, "That's allowed. I had one beer. That's it. You can go ask them. Here's the bar I went to." And then so then the cops, when the cops was like, "Oh, okay, so this is about reckless driving," so they try to turn it around back onto me. So then he goes over with Dave and goes walking up out to the highway, and then as they're walking up the highway, there's this huge black mark on the property, and the cops like looks at his flashlight. He's like, "Oh, is it this one?" And then as I see that, I'm like, "Holy shit, that's funny," because a couple nights earlier, I'm sitting in the garage, and I hear them in a fucking knockdown, drag out brawl, arguing, screaming as loud as fuck over in the garage, him and her. And then she is the one that left. She gets in the SUV and fucking peels out of there and left this huge fucking black mark. And so then he's going to the highway to go point out the black mark I made. And the first one they come across is the one from their domestic abuse in their. I was like, okay. And the cop doesn't have access to my car because it's in the garage. He doesn't have any right to go get it, and doesn't even get my driver's license information, none of that shit. And it puts me in the police car and tells me I need to go to the station so you can get a. And he tells me I need to do a piss test and shit. I said, "Fuck, what the fuck is it? I've been assaulted. That's why I called you. Why are you taking me in?" And they admitted it. So what the fuck's going on here? Why are you protecting them? And this cop here says, what the hell? So there's been this conspiracy this whole fucking way through, where all the bad guys get away, and the police and the bad guys are all friends with each other, and if they're not, they're sucking each other's dicks. And then even with all the evidence, and everybody fucking tries to kill me and dumps my body, and I'm the victim here. And they're just handing over all the proof that they're all dirty as fuck, and they all should be in jail for actually harming people, for actually, a fucking felon with a gun that just fucking punches anybody for any fucking reason. Dude, that guy needs a shot collar on his neck. I mean, these are harmful people. All I've done is beat the shit out of myself. So then on top of it, they're like, "Oh, okay, so you must have something to hide. Well, we're going to take you there to a police station so you do a breathalyzer. Why can't you give me one right here?" Another some bullshit. So they take me down there, give me a breathalyzer. I blow zero. Yeah, I know. I'm like, "Oh, well, you can't leave till the morning unless you can get somebody to come get you." What the fuck? So you're setting me up to fucking be in prison here for no reason when I've been assaulted, and shit. Yeah. Oh, shit. Hey, what's up?
I need to check in. I got a
I'll be back.
Do I need my ID? You grab it at the first one.
No.